Question 1. You're scheduled to make a delivery. You arrive at your destination during the morning rush hour. The road is edged with double red lines. What do they mean? D. Unload only within a white box area. White boxes allow you to unload at any time, but during the day the length of stay is restricted. You should check nearby signs for the specific times. At other times, when it's not so busy, there may not be any restrictions on parking. Question 2. You're often involved in the carrying of high-value goods. What security measures can you adopt? D. Vary your routes and rest stops. When carrying high-value goods, you can become a target for thieves. Avoid developing a set routine or pattern. Vary your routes whenever possible to make it difficult for thieves to predict when and where your cargo can be intercepted. Question 3. What's the final thing you should do after recoupling a trailer? D. Release the trailer parking brake. It's important to work methodically when uncoupling or recoupling a tractor unit and trailer. After recoupling, check that all connections, systems and lights are working correctly. Question 4. Why are ropes unsuitable to tie down a load of scrap metal? C. Ropes can wear and snap. When securing a load, the driver must use the most suitable type of restraint. Scrap metal is likely to have sharp edges that could wear through straps or ropes. Security of the load is the driver's responsibility. A load that has been correctly secured shouldn't move if an emergency arises. Question 5. You're driving a laden articulated lorry with a maximum authorized mass of 38 tons on a dual carriageway in England. What speed limit applies to your vehicle after passing this sign? C. 60 miles per hour. 60 miles per hour may be the legal speed limit for a goods vehicle on a dual carriageway in England and Wales, but it doesn't mean that it's safe to drive at that speed. You should always take into account the road, weather and traffic conditions, and maintain safety margins. Question 6. Which of these signs means you can't drive your lorry past this point? B. No motor vehicles are allowed past this sign. Although a motorcycle and car are shown, the restriction applies to all motor vehicles. Question 7. What could happen if you drive a double-deck lorry with the top deck loaded and the lower deck empty? B. The lorry may overturn when cornering. If you're only carrying half a load on a double-deck lorry, this should be carried on the lower deck whenever possible. With only the top deck loaded, your lorry is top-heavy and at risk of overturning as you drive around bends or corners. Question 8. When must you notify telephone companies that you're moving a high load? D. When the load's height exceeds 5.25 meters 17 feet 6 inches. You should tell telephone companies about your intended route when planning the movement of loads over 5.25 meters 17 feet 6 inches high. You should tell them in plenty of time before making the journey. Question 9. Before starting driving, which of the following should you complete on the center field of your tachograph chart? D. The starting point of your day's journey. Before starting your journey, you must record a number of items on your tachograph chart. One of these is where the journey begins. Question 10. You're on a motorway. Your lorry has a maximum authorized mass of more than 7.5 tons. What does this sign mean to you? D. You mustn't use the right-hand lane. At motorway roadworks, some lanes may be narrower than normal, and large vehicles may not be allowed to use those lanes. Look for weight limit signs to check for any lanes that you can't use. Move to the appropriate lane in good time. Question 11. What's the principal braking system on a lorry called? D. The service brake. The service brake is usually operated by the brake pedal. It's used to control the speed of the vehicle and to bring it to a halt safely. It may also incorporate an anti-lock braking system. Question 12. When is a high-sided vehicle most affected by side wind? C. When it's traveling empty. Take care if you're driving an empty high-sided vehicle when it's windy. Watch for places where the conditions could suddenly change, such as a gap between buildings or when passing under a bridge. Reduce your speed and stay alert for other road users who are also affected by these weather conditions. Question 13. You're driving a lorry towards a high bridge on a windy day. What should you expect? B. Lane closures. In windy weather, exposed stretches of road may have lane closures, or there may be diversions for some types of vehicle. Consider this when you're planning your journey. Delays will add to your driving time. Question 14. Which vehicle is most at risk in windy conditions? A. High-sided lorry. High-sided vehicles are severely affected by side wind because of the large surface area of the bodywork. The risk of loss of control is increased if the vehicle is unladen. Question 15. During your working day, you change to another vehicle with the same type of tachograph. How should you keep your tachograph record up to date? C. Take the chart with you and use it in the other vehicle. If you change vehicles during the working day, you should take your chart with you and use it in the next vehicle. This isn't always possible, however, as charts produced by different manufacturers may not be interchangeable. In this case, you should use another chart, making sure that all the information for the day is recorded. Question 16. You're driving an articulated lorry on a narrow road. There's a left-hand bend ahead. Why may you need to move out before driving around the bend? B. To make room for the trailer cutting inches. You should always be aware of the amount of room your trailer needs when it's going around bends and corners. If you need to go onto the other side of the road, make sure there's no oncoming traffic before you move out. Question 17. Which of these vehicles will be most at risk of rollover when laden? A. Rollover usually happens as a result of the inside rear wheels of an articulated vehicle starting to lift when the driver changes direction sharply. This tends to happen when a driver is changing direction to leave a roundabout. If the load moves during the change of direction, the vehicle is increasingly at risk of rolling over. The problem often involves vehicles carrying fluids in bulk. Question 18. What's prohibited when a red route is in operation? C. Stopping or parking. The hours of operation of red routes vary from one area to another. As a rule, you mustn't stop on a red route, but there may be special marked boxes where loading and unloading can be carried out at certain times. Look out for signs giving information about the restrictions in place. Question 19. How frequently should the components of a fifth wheel coupling be inspected? B. Monthly. A fifth wheel must be maintained properly. It requires regular lubrication and inspection. This should be carried out monthly or every 10,000 kilometers, whichever comes first.